BRICS was set up to degenerate our dollar and take our dollar as the standard, take it off as the standard. And that's okay if they want to play that game, but I can play that game too. So anybody that's in BRICS is getting a 10% charge. BRICS is not, in my opinion, not a serious threat. But what they're trying to do is destroy the dollar so that another country can take over and be the standard. And we're not going to lose the standard at any time. If you have a smart president, you will never lose the standard. If you have a stupid president like the last one, you would lose the standard. You wouldn't have the dollar as you. And if we lost the world standard dollar, that would be like losing a war, a major world war. We would not be the same country any longer. We're not going to let that happen. The dollar, you ever hear the expression, dollar is king? The dollar is king. We're going to keep it that way, okay?
BRICS is the most organized global manifestation. And that's why it's important to take note of the annual meeting they just had in Rio. And the fact that they are bigger than they have ever been before, that they're doing more trade with one another than they ever did before, that they're borrowing money and making investments in one another more than they ever did before. And all of that is happening outside of and out from under the control, the domination of the United.
Alright, Shalom, Shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Rakwa, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the mighty Ak and Wakwafim, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity. This is Brother Kawakaw coming at you with another lesson. Today's lesson, I want to get into, what was it? This whole BRICS thing. And the stuff about this is that this is just more biblical prophecy. So first things first, 2 Ezra chapter 9 verse 1, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Now, you can go check this video out. I'm going to link this in the description, so you can go check it out yourself. The brother does an excellent lesson on it. But for me, what I'm going to be talking about, just another revealing, another lesson, on the inevitable MOTB. All right. So basically, what's going on is this whole, the American dollar has been kind of on the decline. I was about to say on the rise, but it's been on the decline where, the funny thing about it is that they've been, losing. It's been losing its value. You have these other nations that basically just do not mess with Babylon anymore. They do not want to associate with Esau anymore. All right. So as a result of that, it's like, okay, well, what am I going to do? What are we going to do? We don't have any, our money is not valued as much and whatnot, right? Which is going to eventually lead to the requirement of the digital currency, which that's been a big thing. I think I did a lesson on this, I think last month or the month before that, where DJT was actually talking about how he wants to swap. Let me just look at it. Okay, here it is. DJT could spur central banks to adopt digital coins. Okay, this was in April. All right, so this was in April, and he wants to make the banks change their currency to digital. All right, so as a result of that, that's just a part of the thing, because it's a lot easier for them to keep track of everyone if all their stuff just goes into the a whole digital system. So which they've been trying to do that for a while. All right, they've been wanting to make things digital, try to push for that whole digital everything. Okay, where it's okay. Well, your health is being digitally monitored. Your payments is all being digitally monitored, so that we always have access to quote unquote help you, to stop fraud. But in actuality, it's just to monitor you 24/7 and to always know where you're at, what you're doing, and all this stuff. So that and they put it, they put it as quote unquote crime prevention, but it's malicious. Like no one. Well, I would hope that no one should want their movements to constantly be monitored all the time. All right, so like that's something that I would hope that most people would say, like that's actually insane. Like I don't agree to that, but apparently, of course, you have so many people that are starting to be okay with it, just as they were okay with the yabba dabba do being permissible, being permitted. All right, they didn't have an issue with that. Being not permitted, mandatory. Didn't have an issue with that. So then now it's just like, okay, well, let's make this mandatory, and let's be able to watch everyone's thing. Okay, so like this is what we have to look forward to. Okay, which Yahawadah, it's coming sooner rather than later. All right, I see all this stuff, like the digital thing, and then now here with the digital dollar, with sucking not the digital dollar, the American dollar, basically potentially losing its value with him, and he's talking this big game and stuff like that, and we just have to wait to see that the Lord is going to say that, okay, now it's time, time to make Nero, all right, have his words be thrown back at his face, all right, with him saying, Joe Biden which I'm not defending Joe Biden, but it's funny that he's saying that, Joe Biden is so incompetent, he's stupid, and then lo and behold, because BRICS, I was actually supposed to get that. Let me get that right now. Because BRICS is filled. The nations of BRICS are Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Egypt, Ethiopia, Indonesia, Iran, and what? And the United Arab Emirates. Okay, so these are the countries that it's composed with. All right. So as a result of that, oh wow, look at this. BRICS was set up to generate our dollars. They just took DJT's quote. So yeah, BRICS is trying to fuck up the American dollar. All right, and he's gonna go and put more tariffs, because he already put a lot of tariffs on China, because I actually did a lesson on that. So he's gonna try to put tariffs on all these people, and like what are they gonna do? Because I saw this one Chinese girl. I actually did a lesson on this, by the way, Slakia. This one Chinese girl had made a video saying, "Oh look, I'm in China. I don't see any American beef. I'm over here trying to buy beef. All I see is Australian beef. So we just went to somewhere else that was cheaper. We don't need you guys." And America's starting to see that all those threats that they were sending and stuff like that. It's these nations are not scared. They don't feel threatened. They're still going on with whatever plans that they had. All right. So yeah, it's like he's not really he's not really doing a good job in the intimidation side of things. All right. But continuing on, First Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as should be upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. All right, so that's another thing where the American people, or it's not even just the American people, but the Babylonians in general, they have a false sense of security, thinking that everything's good, thinking that they're all safe and whatnot, when in actuality, things are not good. Things are only going to get worse. All right, things are only going to get worse because Esau is still, I guess, pissing off all these other nations, making enemies out of them. All right, and they clearly have this little club over here where they're not messing with Esau. They say, like, man, Esau is getting on our nerves. Like, I don't like this type of stuff. All right. And also, I just noticed that it looks like Russia is the only, I guess, half. Because technically Russia is definitely Edomite ruled nation, but I guess this is the only country that actually does not like Esau Edom. Only Edomite nation that does not like Esau. All right. But continuing on, Revelation chapter 13 verse 16, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive an MARK in their right hand or in their forehead. And this is another thing where this is what we're looking for. This is the ultimate goal. All right, where we're waiting for this to happen so that we can just be, we're going to be good. And the Lord's going to just take care of us. We're going to be all fine and all that stuff, all fine and dandy. Everything's going to be just perfect. All right, that's what we're looking forward to. All right, we're not waiting for Esau to make things better, make things good. No, it's not Esau that's going to make things better. It's the YAHAWAH and His. YAHAWAH and His is going to put the spirit on Esau to implement that thing, and then we're going to get out of here finally. Yahweh does that sooner rather than later. Now, Joel chapter 3 verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I'm strong. You have all these nations that were once afraid of Esau. You have all these nations that were that couldn't stand up to Esau, now getting together and saying, oh, we're all going to go up here and take down Esau. We've had it with Esau's reign, we've had it with Esau's terror and all that stuff. Like, Esau is going to have to answer to all the rage that these other nations have towards him. All right. Also, another thing about this is Ezekiel chapter 28 verse 7. Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. They shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the deaths of them that are slain in the midst of the sea. So this is not specifically talking about Esau Edom, but it's still applicable because you have so many people that are arrogant, that are proud, that don't understand the power of YAHAWASHI, but yet they speak and act as if they're on the Lord's level. So as a result of that, the Lord is going to basically humble them, okay, by bringing all these other nations, as a matter of fact, the Lord can use anything or anyone, okay. The Lord's going to use other nations. The Lord's going to do it himself. The Lord's going to send his angels, whatever, okay. The Lord's going to is basically going to humble them, and no one can. As a matter of fact, let's get that before, and then we'll end it out. It's Isaiah chapter 40 something. Isaiah 43 verse 13. Yea, before the day was, I am he, and there is none that can deliver out of my hand. I will work, and who shall lead it? Basically, there is no one that can deliver out of the hand of YAHAWASHI, and as soon as the Lord sets his sight to destroy you, you can't do anything to save yourself. All right, so that's basically it. It's good. This is good news to hear out in terms of the destruction of Babylon. I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Rakwakwadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Abad, and Shalom.